choose topic, fitness and sport.
Dude, Sengun looking tasty right now.
Sangoon going crazy.
He is.
Albeit, like, it makes you curious what would happen if the game was close.
Yeah.
But
But still, like what, like 13 and 5 and 3 or whatever in 13 minutes is
Yeah.
like, what more can you ask for?
what up, Grant? We're already recording and we are live here. But yeah, let's see. What exactly does he have?
Grant, who's this week's? Oh, we can't hear you, Grant.
Can't hear you. Cannot hear you. Top running backs to trade for. Oh, nope, Eddie's gone. But yeah, 13, 3, and 5. That's pretty crazy, actually.
Yeah, he's going in.
Paolo's not having a bad day either. 7, 4, and 4. I'll take that.
Me and Grant, by the way, like just off the like kind of portfolio thing that we were discussing, we started today just like a theoretical one with nothing on it, and I think Grant's gonna edit it into something. We started it with Kuminga, Sengun, PJ Washington,
Y'all should have.
Tyjae Spears. Okay.
Y'all should have added. What's his name? Tyus Jones.
Tyus Jones, yeah.
That boy's
It's a good
gonna be a
ad.
baller.
Hey, can only throw so many on though on day one.
This is true. Tyus Jones.
PJ's also looking nice, so
Yeah. We'll see how all these games end up going today. Let's see here. We got start Henderson or Pierce. I'd start Pierce. I like Pierce this week.
yeah, I would tend to agree.
Let's see here. In return, this person is sent. So they're getting Devonte Adams. They send. I don't know what Kirk they're referring to. I hate when people do that.
I would imagine. Wait, it's Devontae for who?
There we go.
You
can hear me?
Yeah, now we
Yeah, I can hear you,
Cool.
Grant.
It says Kirk, White, Dubs, Golf.
Kirk White.
Side note: do either of you need League Pass?
For
Oh wait, it's that $5 bet thing, right? Or
No, I have an account I can just plug you with if you need one.
oh, I would love it, dude. Let me
Yeah.
hit you up with that after this stream.
Are we talking
Sounds
about
good.
NBA or NFL?
NBA.
NBA.
Right.
I'm an idiot. It's NBA. I'm a fucking idiot. Yeah, no. I would love some NBA action, but that's just me. But yeah, we're live here.
Drop it in. Okay, cool. Just drop it in the group chat, Grant.
Okay.
It's not. Just let the world know your league pass
I'll
information.
put it in the TikTok chat.
So,
Yeah. First person to copy down Grant's League Pass info gets his subscription.
I assume multiple people can use it, right?
Yeah, I doubt they got like that same like Netflix, Hulu type
I
restriction.
could so see them having that.
Yeah, I would hope not though. Like I feel like there's a good chance.
Well, we'll test it out.
Yeah, for real. Thank you, Grant.
How are you guys doing?
Good. How about you, man? How about you?
Doing well.
Good. NBA is officially back today, so that's pretty entertaining to watch here, and trying to figure that out and how exactly.
Grant, you see Sengun and PJ are both eaten.
Yeah. I wish you said the Sengun take.
Oh, did we not do the Sengun take? Darn.
No.
Ah, shoot. Well, next week.
Yeah.
I guess it'll be cool of a take next week, but
Who would you prefer,
Okay.
Gino or Minshew for this week?
Gino or Minshew? Who are the Hawks playing?
Let's see here.
Colts play the Saints, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like that matchup. It feels like the Saints defense hasn't been great other than that one game against the Patriots. The Seahawks play the Browns, right? So I wouldn't really want to start Gino. Although Minshew kind of cooked them, so who knows anymore. But I still have faith in that defense, I feel like.
Yeah, they were looking good against the pass, like prior to that game. I feel like I think you're probably
Yeah.
right with that one.
Yeah. All right, let's actually start getting into these teams here now.
Cool.
So we got the first team here. Actually, before we even do that, Jackson, go ahead and plug it. so people that are in here can know exactly how to get their team on this specific stream, if they would
Okay.
like that, of course.
Yep. All you got to do is just go to our TikTok bio, and the link for our Discord is in there. Just join the Discord and send me a direct message at Jamario Moon, and I will get you set up and get your team on this stream tonight, and we'll look over it.
And if not tonight, another night. But for now, we have Jordan Love, Jonathan Taylor, Raheem Mostert, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Darren Waller, Alvin Kamara. And Jamario is JAMARIOMOON. So spelling that one more time, JAMARIOMOON. But going back to this team, very, very strong team. You got Tony Pollard chilling on your bench. Like, that's insane. Yeah, not like.
Yeah, you definitely. Oh, Alvin Kamara is there too. It's not Raheem at running back too, even.
Like, it's a very strong.
I'm trying to think of a new career defining take this week.
That's what I was about to ask you. What's this week's Gibbs?
I will have one by the end of the stream. I
Word.
just gotta cook and keep
You just
looking
gotta
at
cook around for a little while.
One will exist.
I
One
think
will emerge.
for this team, I think for as good as it is, the receiving room could probably be improved. Like, you have enough pieces to do stuff to get a better wide receiver too than Jalen Waddle and make this team just absolutely cracked.
I think Kamara scores this week. I think he has a path to performing well. He was out with some sort of sickness today, but it didn't seem like anything serious. I think he'll be fine to play this weekend.
All I know is man is on track for like 200 plus targets in the season.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Derek Carr.
Yeah, Derek Carr is making things happen there. I just think this is a very, very strong team. I don't really have much to say on it. Like, it's a good team.
Yeah, trade away one of your running backs is what I'm going to tell you. Like, you don't need Monty, Pollard, Raheem, JT, and Kamara at this point in the season. Like, go get you a better
trade
wide
Raheem.
receiver.
I'll say so high Mostert realistically to get a better receiver.
He wasn't great. I mean, he was pretty bad against the Eagles, right?
Yeah. I think that might be the story of the Dolphins, is that when they play really good teams, they fail.
Fraud watch?
Like the Patriots, apparently, are a good team, which is kind of entertaining.
They got a decent defense, man.
They do. But yeah, moving forward, we got Tua, Jacobs, Mostert, Diggs, Flowers, Kelsey, Palmer. Let's see here. With Burrow, Smith, Osborne, Downs, Musgrave, Spears, Foreman. I mean, bench is not lackluster because you have Smith chilling on it. I don't really understand why Smith is on the bench for Palmer.
Do you like that 4 for 3 they did to make their roster the current one?
I didn't look at that. I feel like an old man. I mean, I don't like losing Pittman and Pacheco, but I mean, I like getting Kelsey. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like they lost the 4 for 3. Because James Conner and Josh Downs just, like, aren't it at all. Whereas, like, Pacheco, Pittman, and Kittle have roles.
I'm not too sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess you just got to hope that Spears carves out a role while Achon is coming back because that Mostert spot is sus. But other than that, like, I mean, I'm not going to be starting Pittman over Devontae Smith or Diggs probably. And then Pacheco, like, as long as one of those running backs on your bench hits, you don't necessarily need those other guys. But
I think it's fine. But, like, I prefer the side that has more. I do like that they went out and got Kelsey, though. I just feel like for actually, like, usable characters, like, the side that's getting the 4 is winning. Because, like, James Conner and Josh Downs, I just don't see as, like, super usable.
Yeah.
But overall, this team is...
Devontae Smith.
Yeah, Smith is
Jahmyr Gibbs type week.
What?
He's the shot. In his career against the Commanders, he averages 6.5 catches a game, 80 yards, and half a touchdown. So, I mean, that would be better than his last few weeks. He's been over 100 yards twice against the Commanders. He scored 3 touchdowns. So, I mean, you saw A.J. Brown torch the Commanders last time. I think they go in with a different game plan here and try to limit him, and we see Devontae get off. So,
You see them try to change things up a little bit.
yeah, Devontae Smith will be over, let's go 13.5 fantasy points this week.
More than 13.
Not too crazy to take, but something we'll put the reputation on the line for again.
True. Somebody's asking exactly how they send their teams, Jackson.
All you got to do is just go to the link in our TikTok bio and join the Discord, which that link is for, and send me a direct message on there at Jamario Moon, and I will give you the rest of the steps to get your team on the stream.
Oh, I'll get in the chat and start
the steps to success with
Beast,
Jackson.
Jackson's 10 steps to financial success.
Overall, this is a very solid team. Like, you've got a lot of great pieces here. It's just like, I'm not the biggest fan of the trade. I like that you got Kelsey in the end, but like, I do think that Isaiah Pacheco and like Pittman add a little bit more sustainability to this team. That like Palmer realistically does not, and Mostert's a still high candidate for me. I feel
Who
like
did you trade Pittman for? Someone's asking.
I
I'm not
just
sure.
I feel like you could have changed this team. I mean this trade specifically, I guess, is my main point here. Like, the pieces on the bench I think are fine, but like they're not a lot of these are really going to end up in the starting lineup, unfortunately.
Yeah. What do you think Pittman's value is right now? I mean, to let's call it a casual fan, last week's performance looks good because he had, 17, 16 points or so? But it was only 2 catches for 83 yards and touchdown. So without the 175-yard play, pretty worthless game there. I mean, I think if you can get equal value, I don't mind a sell high here, but he has been solid most of the season. That was kind of just a weird game that had the one chunk play.
Yeah. Do you think Derrick Henry goes to another team? And if he does, which team do you think he goes to?
Yeah, we were kind of discussing this on the last stream. I think some of the teams we were mentioning, we do think he's going to get traded. Like, it's pretty confirmed that the Titans are looking for a way to tank, and Derrick Henry is probably their best option out of that at this point in the season. But we were talking about like I think the Ravens. Who else?
Sure. What up, Maxon?
The Rams, maybe?
Yeah, the Rams were an interesting one.
I think Baltimore would be the most fun outcome because they seem like a true contender with a really good run scheme. It's just the running backs they have are pretty lackluster, so that would be a really cool one.
I guess the more important part to this question is, like, do you think it would be Tyjae's backfield entirely, like, to himself?
If he left?
Yeah. Like, do you think they'd bring somebody else in or ask for someone else in return?
I mean, maybe in the offseason, but the rest of this year, I would think that.
You think they're just kind of like,
guy.
nah?
Yeah. Trying to think of other places that Derrick Henry would be cool in. He's been there for so long; it's hard to even picture him in a different jersey.
I don't know.
You're not allowed to leave, Mr. Henry.
Cleveland?
You must stay forever.
Dude,
how long is Derrick Henry's contract? Cleveland could be fun.
Cleveland would be very interesting, and it kind of makes sense.
He kind of fits their brand of ball.
You fit their brand of ball, sir.
I just like, I don't know. I kind of have a weird gut feeling that wherever Henry ends up, it's going to be like a lot more commission based than what he's doing now. Like, I feel like he's going to get a smaller run share regardless of where he goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Baltimore, he could kind of just get a ton of carries and just run the tread off those tires. But yeah, anywhere else. I think especially no matter where he goes, like, it's not really helpful for fantasy wise, but I think his carries would be down, and then the playoffs you'd see him get like 30 carries or something, but it doesn't really help us here.
Let's see here. But yeah, I agree. Team Draws got fleeced in this trade, chat.
What do you think about Sam Darnold this week, Wells?
Samuel Darnold, one of the first picks in the
He's
draft.
going to be starting.
He's going to be starting. I want him starting on my fantasy team.
You do?
No, but I do believe that.
I kind of do.
Well, I was about to say, like, I do believe that pretty much any quarterback can work in that system, essentially. So, like, you don't have to, like, overthink it too much. Like, it doesn't really matter who's in it. Just, like, some are able to do it a little bit better than others there. I think
This week, would you start Sam Darnold or C.J. Stroud?
C.J. Stroud, because he's talented.
Hey, you never know. Without the ghosts in the backfield, who knows? Sam might be a problem.
He's actually just an absolute menace out there.
Darnold rushing touchdown, new Jahmyr Gibbs 1 touchdown.
If you look at his
if Aiden O'Connell can score, anyone can
his
score. His
fantasy production this year, he has literally only taken knees. He has taken 7 knees every week except for 1. That's how good the Niners have been. He is averaging negative 0.10 points.
It's pretty impressive. But anyways, to finish off,
clearly good at clock management.
I just don't really like how you went about the trade. I think Devonta Smith is fine, and I think the bench pieces are all just kind of like extra pieces you normally use in a trade to upgrade. I do think Zay Flowers is going to be a thing. I just think that, like, I don't understand why Devonta Smith is sitting on the bench, in which case then it's like you have no real support for your flex spot, which could either be a running back or wide receiver. So I guess I don't agree with the trade. But sorry for the long-winded answer eventually there.
Yeah.
As we went into other things.
I just want to mention Foreman because you have him. I kind of was thinking, like, after the 3 touchdown performance he had, that he would kind of get overlooked as, like, a potential, like, trade right away candidate after that, like a lot of upside for certain people looking at him. But, like, on the Discord this week, there's so many people, like, trying to get him. Like, there's definitely hype for Foreman. Like, I think you can trade him for someone right now. Like,
he does do this. Like, I will say, in the sense of, like, each time he goes in there and, like, actually is allowed to play, he gets 2 touchdowns somehow. It's really weird, but he goes out there and does it each time.
Do you think he's earned a role in the offense even when Roshan is back?
No.
Probably this week?
I don't think so. I don't think they care about him.
He's kind of different, though. Roshan could be just the complimentary guy, and you could still give Foreman a bunch of carries. I mean, he ran tough. He was running through guys and wasn't going down, and he was making plays. He was like their whole offense this weekend.
I just remember he was a healthy scratch, and to me that just makes me think that, like, they really just don't care.
Yeah. I don't know why they paid him at all.
That's a whole nother rabbit hole for another time. But we will skip it for now. Sorry, I'm also trying to, like, look through different scores for NBA as we're, like, doing this simultaneously.
You would be.
I would be, as I just brains. Stafford, Bijan, Swift, Higgins, Amon-Ra, Laporte. I mean, do people just send you, like, I wouldn't say super teams, but, like, just teams that are just extremely strong?
I mean, maybe sometimes they just want to see themselves get glazed by us, but
I guess. But yeah, I feel like we're gonna Mac Krispy Kreme.
for real, dude.
But, like,
I mean, the receivers.
Yeah.
Like, T. Higgins hasn't been anything special this year.
But, like, when T. Higgins comes to form, like, he's great.
Yeah, that'll change.
But yeah, that's
running
the
back
weak
room
spot.
is incredibly solid. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really the only weak spot, and then you have, like, a bunch of, like, pieces that are kind of coming and going constantly. Matthew Stafford. And apparently gamer boy Kyler Murray is coming back. So
this week?
No, not this week. I would not expect it this week. If it is this week, I will be very, very, very surprised. I'd expect it, like, next week or something. Not next week, like 3 weeks. Yeah, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins just looks like a complete fail at this point. Like, it just doesn't seem like anything's going to happen over there. Like, do you guys think he's going to be able to do anything with Will Levis if Will Levis gets run on that team?
Now,
Yeah.
isn't it going to be Malik this week too?
I think it's going to be Malik, but, like, I'm trying to think of, like, a quarterback that's actually going to, like, throw the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I would think, or I would hope at least, Will Levis is more competent at that than Malik, but it doesn't really seem like they're confident in either of these guys because I mean they spent 2 draft picks on him and Tannehill is just so average. The team sucks, so it's like you would if they had trust in one of these guys, you would think that they'd be like excited to put one of them in the game this week, but it doesn't really seem like that's the case.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just not looking good over in Tennessee, so I don't really have any. But overall, I do like the team. I think Calvin Ridley is fine, replacing T. Higgins.
Yeah, you have a lot of like potential rising assets too,
Yeah.
and the starting lineup is great on its own. So it's not like you need any of them to really improve that much. But if they can, which I think they will, it's always a good thing to have on top of that.
I mean, and for the person asking who's attainable when trying to trade Raheem, I mean, in theory, you should be able to get like basically a first rounder in like a startup draft at this point, because it's like people. I remember at one point we were able to sell it for Austin Eckler, and that's why I say like first rounder. But
It's gonna be really interesting to see what happens when Ashawn is back, though.
yeah, also like freaking Jaron Jackson, I think is
Also,
insane.
Raheem hasn't really had that injury bug yet, which has happened every single year in his career. So, I
That's
would
gonna
definitely be
happen.
looking to move off of him just because history has shown that him playing 17 games is like incredibly unlikely.
He does not like to stay healthy.
Chet is cooking.
What's Chet doing? Like, well, what's this
Blow
stuff?
by like transition dunks.
Ooh, good for Chetward. But overall, another solid team. Let's see here. Patty Mahomes, Daryl, AJ Brown, Drake London, Darren Waller, Josh Downs. I'm assuming this team has dealt with quite a few injuries throughout the season. Would be my kind of guess. Just because Daryl's not ideal and neither is Josh Downs.
Would you be starting Rasheed over Downs?
I would start. Yeah, I'd start Rasheed over Downs. Just because, like, yeah, you have a lot of optimism with whatchamacallit, Rasheed, considering he's attached to Mahomes.
Yeah, you get that stack. I would be starting Roshan this week too, if he clears.
Yeah.
I think he has a nice little role carved out for himself.
Over Daryl.
Brian Robinson was good against the Eagles, surprisingly, the last time they played. I don't know if that'll continue this week. The Eagles seem to be on a little bit of a roll, but who knows? It's something to keep an eye on.
They're on a roll. Sorry.
Intrusive thoughts.
Intrusive thoughts. Let's see.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much.
I mean, there's not really much else to say. It's just like you gotta wait on Kyron to come back, and even then, I don't even think Darrell Henderson's not gonna be much better than what he was like last year, and I don't even think that was very theoretically impressive.
Yeah, but I think you have the 2 guys that are the highest chance to be the lead back, so you've hedged your options that
and just be
you will have the lead back every week, assuming you keep both of them. So
true.
I don't hate the spot you're in.
He doesn't hate it, but he doesn't like it either. Just remember that.
Yeah, I mean, like you'd rather have like Brees Hall or someone there, but assuming this is a deeper league or you've gotten injuries, like you've recovered from that as well as you could have. So.
And you can try Raheem for Bijan, but I'm going to be the one wanting to receive Bijan in that deal. But
I wish I hadn't drafted Bijan in all my leagues so I could be trading for him right now.
Yeah, that was crazy though. Not playing for because of a headache. Like I get it, like you gotta do what you gotta do, type deal. But like, That was crazy.
They're getting investigated for like gambling.
It actually
'Cause
never
they
was
messed up,
Calvin
like,
Ridley.
everyone's.
It was always Arthur Smith. That's
That'd be
actually
pretty
what it
good.
is.
Arthur Smith is just pulling all the strings everywhere in the NFL.
Sandro Tonali.
Just imagine he's got like just nothing but unders on like Bijan and like Drake London and Kyle Pitts each week. He just like knows that it's smacking. He's just like, all right,
Be devastating.
let's put this together. All right, Tyler, you're gonna have 3 touchdowns today, and if you don't,
Yeah.
anyways, I don't know why he sounds like Bill Belichick, but yeah, I don't like the sustainability for Drake London for the thing that we were kind of joking about there in terms of like how much volume really goes his way. Darrell Henderson's just not really a great player, and Josh Downs is just not really consistent enough for you.
AJ Brown's a dog though, and
AJ Brown's great.
You gotta like where Drake London's trending a little bit.
I don't mind trending down from Patrick Mahomes to somebody more back and forth through the weeks, like a Brock Purdy here, and getting like another running back that I feel more comfortable with, or that can also fit in my flex spot if needed. Like that's an option for you, I believe here. Yeah. But that's about it. Our friend here, Jay Chin, is asking, is Hyatt rosterable?
Depends on the size of your league. I think so. I mean, like just rosterable.
Would you rather have Wandale though?
Wandale's a PPR scam in the sense of like he's just getting a bunch of short passes. He's not really doing too much after the catch, which is unfortunate for him.
Damn it! If I heard someone call me a scam, I'd be pissed.
That is a
scam.
wild
Human scam.
Could you imagine? That actually would be wild to hear in person. Just like,
well, Wandale, if you're listening,
Wandale, if you ever hear this, just understand.
Will's thoughts don't reflect Jackson and I's.
You are.
Nah, you're a scam, buddy.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah, you heard it here first on Prediction Strike.
Calm it down, friend. But yeah, we've lost all hope for helping this team.
Sorry.
Let's see here. Gibson Cooper. Let's see here. Trevor Lawrence, Bijan Robinson, Isaiah Pacheco, Amon St. Brown, Jalen Waddle, TJ Hawkinson, Ramondre, Chris Olave. Only piece I do not like here is Ramondre, but there's not too much you can do out of it. You have a lot of upside with Tyjae and Jeff, realistically. Algier, if Bijan gets another headache, like, I don't know. I think you can package together realistically Ramondre and Cortland Sutton and go get a higher end running back for cheap. But that's just me. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I think if you're going to try to make a move with Ramondre now, it might be your only time to do it. And I think Sutton's a perfectly good person to package. I think people, like even people who really like know their stuff, definitely see the value in adding Cortland Sutton at this point with Jerry Jeudy on the trade block. So, yeah, I think, and it's like, honestly, with how the Denver Broncos are looking, like I think
they suck.
Like Sutton's potential value might outweigh like what his value is going to be. I think that's a good package to get someone decent for sure.
Sutton's got to be the most random dude I can remember, though. Like, every week, though, he does the same thing. Like, it might not even just be a fluke. He might just score a garbage time touchdown every week. I mean, he's tied for second in the league.
He's just doing stuff out there, and I don't understand it.
He's caught 5 touchdowns in 7 games, and he's the guy who seems to get all of the targets. But yeah, I mean, I think he's a guy you could package. I don't know the depth of this league. It seems somewhat small because, I mean, you have a lot of guys that were drafted pretty high on here. Maybe you just did some good wheeling and dealing. But to whoever needs receivers right now, I mean, he's a guy that you could sell high on. Also,
the bench
Phillip
definitely screams 12 men to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he has like 4 guys that were taken in the first like 2 rounds. So I don't really know how to analyze this one, but
some wheeling for Bijan
Yeah.
potentially.
yeah. I think this team, though, all the guys have been good, but they haven't really reached their full peaks. So if assuming your record is 500 or somewhere around there, I think you're fine because Pacheco is going to continue to be good. I expect Bijan to take off, and Waddle will have some of those big pop weeks, and Olave will figure it out. So if you've survived until now, you'll be totally fine.
Yeah, and we're
I
going
think
to
he's
go
in
have
the
a
chat. I'm
talk.
curious what your record is.
Let's see here.
One trade he made, he traded Kyron and Jacoby Myers for Olave and Pacheco. That's pretty sick.
True.
Yeah, you're 3-4, so I think you're fine. Most of these guys haven't lived up to their full potential yet, so I would expect only to rise from here. I wouldn't be too worried.
Jake LaRabia. What kind of name is
Puka or Adam Thielen? Puka.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen is just a gross name. Like you hear that and you just
Thielen.
It doesn't like pop. He's been good, but he's kind of Cortland Sutton-esque, where you're just like, ugh.
Dude, it's like worse.
Thielen.
It's like Cortland Sutton if he was like a senior citizen.
Yeah.
Thielen. What's your name? Hi, my name's Adam Thielen. But yeah,
Chiefs defense
hopefully
or
that
Cowboys
was
defense?
helpful.
I mean, I would
Yeah,
go.
I did okay.
This
Chiefs?
I think this one's a 10-man, I believe.
I mean, another stacked team.
Whoa.
You don't need too much. I'll let them say things on this if they want to, but to me, I look at this and I'm just like, damn, like this is a pretty damn good team.
Start Mostert every single week.
Yeah.
Yeah, or trade him.
Start him over Jacobs this week. I love Jacobs. Raiders O-line sucks, and the Lions are very good against the run, so.
Now, that's not very nice to Raiders fans.
That's me, though. I'm talking about myself.
Yeah, he's allowed to diss his own kind, Wells.
It's okay, Grant.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
okay.
Start Mostert over Jacobs. I mean, if you like Jacobs and you think he could have a good week, then start him over Pacheco, I guess. But I would get Mostert into the lineup. It's against a team where the game script should be very positive in Mostert's favor. And, I mean, he's been good every single week except last week, so don't overreact too much. If you trust me,
Devontae.
Yeah, if you trust my advice, start Devontae over Mike Evans. 1-for-1 lifetime in reputation pick. So if you think it'll be 2-for-2, then throw him in there. If not, fade me and see what happens.
Fade Grant parlay.
Fade me. See what happens. Slicks back hair. So I can help it. Let's see here. But yeah, like this is a super team, and like they make amazing points here in sense of like if you don't have like this is just a really strong team. There's really not too much you can do.
Yeah, I say ride it. This could get a
like
shit.
I can't remember if it was Grant or if it was Jackson that pointed this out. But if you don't have Raheem Mostert, trade him. Like I mean, if you're not using him, trade him. Like there's no reason to just let that sit on your bench and just do nothing. So I thought that was a great point. All right,
this one's a 14, man.
Yeah. We got Stroud, Bijan, Jacoby Myers, Mark Andrews, Derrick Henry, DeAndre Hopkins, Amari Cooper. All right, let's have Grant take this one to start us off with here. Let us know what we should be thinking of this. So I look at it and I don't have too many thoughts outside of there's
it's a weird format.
On
It's
the
tough to
bench.
even the 3 flex, only 1 set position is kind of interesting. I enjoy it.
Grant, do you see any scams
Cortland
on this
Sutton,
team?
we just talked about him. I would start him over DeAndre Hopkins this week. You just don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be like there, and you're already starting another Titan, so just 2 Titans is never a good idea. Just get him out of there. Start Cortland Sutton. He scored a garbage time TD against KC last time. Who knows? It might happen again. Even Brian Robinson I would start over Hopkins, but get someone else in there. The quarterback situation is just not one you can trust right now. Great tight end. I like CJ Stroud's matchup this week against Carolina. Feels like a secondary that he could torch a little bit. And then Jacoby Myers, I mean, I'm sure you probably picked him somewhere later in like the 12th or 13th round or something, and he's been awesome. So very comfortable starting him against a secondary that has allowed, what does that say, 23rd most fantasy points to wide receivers. So like we talked about with the last team, I think the Raiders will probably be losing in this game, and it'll be a situation where they're airing it out a little bit, and Jacoby's gotten like 10 plus targets in their last 4 games. So definitely a guy that I like this week.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
Um,
And do you guys, like with Derrick Henry in there, would you do anything? Do you think, like, do you see any packages you could do in there if you want to potentially move him, or would you just kind of keep that as is?
I want to try to sell Derrick Henry 1-for-1 if I can. It's just Wandale hasn't hit that value point that I think he will. Josh Downs hasn't either. And I don't really want to be. You can't really package together both Derrick Henry and D Hop. I don't think anyone will do that.
Yeah.
No one in this team that I could particularly package together, I feel like. Nothing too crazy. I thought Grant did a good job breaking it down well and telling us, a Raider, that he's a big fan of this weekend and that of Jacoby Myers.
For sure.
Let's see here. We got Love, Robinson, Foreman, Amon St. Brown, Amari Cooper, Luke Musgrave, DJ Moore. Let's see here. With Mixon, Kirko 2 Chains. That's really it. With Deontay Johnson now off of IR.
I don't know if fantasy-wise he had the biggest game. He definitely didn't on that front, but he really opened up the offense for everyone else. Like, I think he helps all the rest of those guys flourish a little bit more. Pickens looked better with him on the
Did you think Kenny Pickett
open
looked
things up downfield,
better or worse?
And it's crazy to see how he affects the rest of the offense and how the defense plays this team. So he definitely looked better than I expected him to in his first game back.
True. Do you think that Kenny Pickett looked better or worse?
Better, but I think I don't know if his like arm or decision making or anything looked better. It was more just the whole offense kind of ran smoother just because there was another guy that you had to guard underneath, and that kind of just made things click and open everything else. So it's definitely a better offense with him in it for obvious reasons.
That's fair.
Mixon, we talked about this in our last stream. He's just kind of like he's just a dude. Like, I don't really know what to think of Mixon. The volume will always be there. He'll probably have a game this year where he scores like 3 touchdowns and it makes him finish as like a top 15 running back on the year or something. But definitely someone I'm comfortable moving off of. I'm not sure how you package it or find the right deal, but I would definitely be comfortable trying to upgrade that because I just don't know how much I trust Mixon at this stage.
Do you start Kincaid tomorrow or do you start Kittle this weekend?
Oh.
Is Deebo Samuel looking like he's going to play this weekend? I think
I assume he's out.
I want to use Kincaid since there's no Knox. I think he gets more involved still there.
Kittle was just it's tough to fade him because he has those like huge weeks that if you miss one of those, it's
game over.
You're definitely going to be upset with yourself, but I mean, I kind of like the aspect of having someone to watch on Thursday Night Football too, so I'm not opposed to starting Dalton Kincaid. I think he could have a huge game.
This is true. But that's an answer for that one.
You also got to think it's going to be Sam Darnold throwing to Kittle, which I don't know if
that's a good
is a positive or a negative, but
I feel like that's a negative. It's a thing. We don't know what it really is. But
if he goes into the game and he's a little nervous, I feel like those kind of guys that aren't totally comfortable are always looking for their tight end because it's just a big target you can throw it up to and hope something happens with. So it can honestly go both ways. Like with young quarterbacks and good tight ends, I usually like tight ends, but
interesting.
We shall see.
But yeah. Kind of bring it back full circle to this team here. It's a fine team. I think Luke Musgrave will get better. You have the correlation with Love. I think Mixon is honestly a fine kind of constant, but this was obviously taken during the bye week, so why you have Foreman in there. Just the bench doesn't really have like a lot of value outside of like Deontay Johnson and Mixon realistically. And realistically, I would probably keep like Elijah Moore in more often than not. I do think buying low on Romeo Doubs is a good idea, just because I have a feeling that Christian Watson is just going to be completely injured this whole entire season, and just piss off a lot of fantasy managers.
Yeah, he was kind of like in the green for me, and now he's looking kind of fringe after these first few weeks back.
Yeah. But yeah, nothing too crazy otherwise for this team. Let's see if Jackson's added a few more here to keep the conversation going. Let's see here. We got Lamar Jackson, Josh Jacobs, Travis Etienne, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Mark Andrews, Jonathan Taylor. Let's see here. Are you chilling on your bench with Olave? I mean, this isn't just a super team. Like, congratulations. I don't know what to tell you.
Didn't want to show Lamar's face.
Or Etienne, or the Raiders, or Butker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
What do you think about CD? I mean, he's had a bunch of yards, at least in his last game against the Chargers, he did for sure. But in general, definitely not lived up to the hype or the levels that some people thought he would be. Do you think that changes?
I need to go find that one guy that gave me hell for saying that CeeDee Lamb will not finish as a top 10 receiver in fantasy. I need to go
whoa,
find
that's
it.
crazy. I actually do remember you getting a ton of slack.
Oh, you were mad. I remember this was a morning just yell.
Yeah, this was just me
like
just
3 days.
ranting for a while because I was trying to explain the math and then I succeeded, and then now we're sitting here.
You got to take your victory lap now before CD starts cooking.
Yeah, before he starts going crazy with it. Even though I made a video going, you guys, you know what, I was wrong. Maybe I'll just take that video down and then just go back and forth, depending if the take's right or wrong.
You posted a CD apology video.
Yeah, before this even started. Mainly because I was annoyed.
I was not familiar with your game.
Answering that.
Yeah.
But for this team here, Ayuk, Olave are awesome additions on your bench. Like, this is a great team. There's not much to say about it. Mahomes, White, Edwards, but this team has a few things we can say. What is HC? Head coach?
What the hell? Wait, what?
No chance.
If you're in the chat, please tell us how the scoring on that works.
Never seen that before.
If they win, do you just get points or something?
Yeah. Sonny is asking from the previous team here, would you trade Jacobs and Olave for Eckler? I'd prefer to have Jacobs and Olave. That's just me. But I'll let you guys answer that one as well. See where you guys stand on it.
Yeah, I mean, I would have done that trade in a second. In the weeks leading up to like Eckler coming back, but it's another one of those types of situations where I probably wouldn't give up Olave for that running back transfer, like you said, at this point.
Yeah.
The Raiders run blocking though, like we talked about with the last couple teams, just isn't there. Their schedule in the playoffs, like fantasy playoffs, is really good. So I would probably still be positive on Jacobs. I think there's gonna be a lot of weeks where he's bad and his points are down, like he has the last few weeks though. So don't get too discouraged though. I mean, he's the only guy that's gonna be getting carries, and if he's healthy, he should have huge weeks in the playoffs if you can get there. So I would probably still be hopeful. But if you want to just cash in and get a guy you can count on, I'm not out on Eckler by any means. So I would be comfortable with that trade either way, probably.
Yeah. But going to this team here, I don't like the running back room. I'll be blunt in saying that. I would tear down from Mahomes for this team to build up my running back room. I don't mind it. I do think that Gus Edwards is in for a really good game this week. So,
would you start Henderson or Roschon over Rashad this week?
No, just because I think Rashad's more talented than those two. But, like, I would be ready to, like, sell Gus Edwards, and I'd be willing to tear down for Mahomes on this team. But that's really all you can do. You're taking a deep shot still on a rookie panning out, which is fine. Um, but that's really all I see you can do on this team. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I mean Akers, the running backs are definitely the weak spot on this team, and Akers out snapped and out carried Alexander Madison on Monday night, so you got to be a little positive about that. And you have some guys like Roshan that hope to grow into more starting roles. I think by the end of the year, your starting running backs will probably be like Roshan and Rashad White or something like that, which isn't too bad. Um, Gus Edwards is just kind of random. Like, I mean, he's the guy there, but every week that can kind of change. So it's just tough to rely on him. But there should be a super positive game script against Arizona this weekend. So assuming they get off to the lead that they should, he should have a big week. So I don't really think I would make too many changes in terms of who you're starting.
Yeah, I would agree. Well, as your camera's kind of going in and out of focus, by the way.
Bro, this camera's been going crazy this whole damn stream. It doesn't like me today. Oh well, we'll survive. But yeah, we got Kirko 2 Chains. Appreciate all the gifts and everything, everyone. Appreciate the love.
This says the head coach position is plus 3 points for a win, minus 3 points for a loss, and then some leagues do minus 20 points for a tie. That's kind of sick.
Okay.
That's insane.
I like that. That's pretty funny.
Dude,
Minus 20 points for a tie. That kind of makes a lot of sense. Like,
Yeah.
terrible coaching.
how people come up with these leagues is beyond me. But teach their own. Let's see
Here
here.
we got Kirk Cousins, Isaiah Pacheco, Alvin Kamara, Brandon Ayuk, Keenan Allen, Travis Kelce, Nico Collins with DK on the bench. Got Darrell Henderson there as well, Miles Sanders, Joe Burrow.
Apparently they're 2-5.
Cracked.
But
I mean, they had missed Kamara for a while. Kelsey's missed a couple games. Ayuk missed a couple
Pacheco
games.
has only been just coming into form, really.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised on that, but it is kind of one of those teams with a 2-5 record that you would not want to play in the playoffs. So I'm still feeling good if I'm this guy. I'm not too stressed about it.
Yeah, I think Kamara, Pacheco, and Ayuk and Keenan are perfectly viable with like the bench pieces you got. You definitely have a little bit more cushion at wide receiver, but strong.
Yeah.
Maybe when Miles Sanders comes back, he won't have to share the ball as much as we're kind of anticipating with Chuba. But
yeah.
Yeah, Miles Sanders is a weird one. I have him in my like main league that's 14-man, and it just hasn't worked out well. That injury's been lingering longer than I think anyone thought it would, but I still like him. I think that there's potential going forward. This week will be very telling though, because it's off a bye against a bad team and a bad run defense. If he hasn't worked more into the game this week, then I don't know if he will be. So yeah, keep your eyes out here, and then maybe make a decision post this.
yeah, I would agree.
Make a decision post haste. Yeah. I mean, I really like this team from just how it looks. I'm surprised that it's 2-5.
Yeah, I mean, like with the Kirk and Burrow at QB and Pacheco, and like I feel like I get it. It's just tough. Maybe some bad management decisions during a few weeks, but
Yeah. Overall, I'm a fan of this team. There's not really, honestly, much I would change based off what you have on the bench here, because I don't really want to be giving up DK Metcalf, and that's really the only piece you can trade. And as you guys pointed out, Miles Sanders, like, he's just kind of a guy at this point. So no one has really a lot of interest in him for the moment, at least. But we'll move on to the next. Yeah.
So this next one, they have a really specific request. This is one of our very active Discord users. Shout out to Nova.
Oh, yeah.
Their request is help me cook up a trade for Keenan Allen with this squad. They can't think of anything that's fair. They were thinking of trading CMC and DJ Moore and Dubs for Allen, Cup, and Bijan. But, quote, I just don't know if I can trust Bijan, Cup, and Allen can have a bad week given week where Christian McCaffrey is just a walk-in touchdown every single week. So they want us to cook up a trade for Keenan.
I mean, Allen, Cup, and Bijan sounds like a pretty nice trio to have. Um, but like,
CMC is just a dog, and I like DJ Moore. I mean, I don't even know if Keenan Allen is for sure better than DJ Moore.
I think he will be based off the quarterback he has with him, but that's really about it.
Yeah, but there's other. I don't know. It's a weird one. I don't think it's too much of an upgrade though.
Yeah.
Cup and Bijan. I think. I mean, obviously, dude. I don't know how you're saying DJ Moore is not is comparable to Allen. I feel like it's just like shitty quarterback versus good quarterback, good season so far versus like boom bust season so far. Like I feel like Keenan's definitely the win there.
I want the Keenan.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, I'll pull up their numbers, but I also think the upgrade on Dubs.
Yeah, and I mean DJ had like
significant.
60 fantasy points and like.
I mean, if Watson is injured or whatever, like he's going to become more relevant in terms of Romeo Dubs.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of a fair shout.
I think the upgrade there is significant enough that it makes up for some things, but you're declining a lot. I mean, Bijan I expect to be good, but he's no Chris McCaffrey.
McCaffrey's just unstoppable at this point. I don't think he's going anywhere.
If you look at these two, DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, DJ Moore's gone 6, 13.5, 11.5, 23, 45, 8, 9.5. So a couple down weeks, but majority of the time he's still over 10 and in the teens. Keenan Allen, 11, 27, 36, 10, 14, 7.5. So it's kind of like they both have huge weeks, and then they're both kind of in the teens. I mean, you can obviously count on Herbert more than you can whatever quarterback they're throwing out there in Chicago on any given week. But I don't think that upgrade is significant enough to downgrade from CMC.
Only thing that like I would consider really doing is if I wanted to move on this team is like Jalen Hurts would be my high end piece I would consider moving. I mean, even that I have hard like time moving off of. Like
I guess you have Kyron too on the bench as well. Yeah. I didn't really see that.
Like you have a lot of ascending pieces. Like the only thing that's technically irrelevant is Darrell Henderson, and I'd be more interested in trying to fix that RB2 into something more sustainable than I am like Romeo Dobbs, who I think is gonna rise a little. Same thing with Kendrick Bourne, actually. Like,
yeah, I think I would do that trade. I think the upgrade from Romeo Dobbs to Cup is significant.
What is it? It's obviously. What is the trade again?
It was Dobbs, DJ Moore, and McCaffrey, right?
Yeah.
For Cup, Bijan, and
I want the Keenan side by a mile, realistically, because like
I'm kind of here for it as well.
I love CMC. He's gonna do a lot of great things, but like JSN's gonna emerge. Jerome Ford could emerge. Like, just I don't know. Keenan Allen and whatchamacallit, Cup are pretty good options. But yeah, we'll move forward. We got T-Law, Mostert, Swift, CDT, Fergie, Rashee Rice, Marquise Brown. I mean, I'd package Raheem Mostert with one of these two running backs to go get something higher end for your running back one slot here. And then you probably need something more consistent for receivers, but you got to package like T or Rice with Marquise Brown realistically to get something more consistent. What are your thoughts?
Sorry, I'm on the Discord right now.
I mean, all of that makes sense to me. I mean, Rice has looked good, and they don't really have much other competition in the wide receiver room in Kansas City, but I still just don't know how much you can fully trust him. I mean, you have a lot of guys there that I would start over him for now, at least. Like, I'd be starting Marquise Brown every week over him for now, especially in a week like this where the game script is going to be heavily in the pass for the Cardinals. So I would be starting Marquise this week. But those other guys, I mean, they're all just kind of at lows. It's hard to sell on on Rashad or Ramondre, so you got to just kind of ride it out for now and hope one of the two or both have huge weeks in the future, and then you can look to start dealing a little bit.
Yep. But that's really all there is to say about this one specifically. I think, is that our last guy? Or nope, Jackson's putting on one more for us here.
I think there's going to be one more after as well.
Nah, the cop said you can't.
This team's crazy.
Yeah, this team's cracked. Like, what? If anything, like, your bench is kind of questionable, but even that's, like, fine. Like, I'm really
Is
not
David
concerned.
Montgomery playing this week? Because if he's not,
I don't think it's official, any leaning either way yet.
and I wouldn't be.
if he's not playing, Gibbs is going to have a massive week. This one isn't even worth giving a takeout. I think it's just a given. But if David Montgomery doesn't play and the Lions come off of a 30-point loss and they play a bad team in prime time, like this could be a Gibbs another 20+ point game. So
I was going to say I was going to be more hesitant, but now that Grant said that, I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
even you think you'd be hesitant even with Montgomery out?
Well, it's like they're playing from behind. It's part of why Alvin Kamara is so good in fantasy right now. It's not because he's particularly efficient. It's because he's gotten 10+ targets in a game. And
But I think Gibbs could get
that floor
18
is
to 20
crazy.
carries if they're up 2 possessions all game.
Yeah, but the receiving is really what drives it home for him. At least from how I see it.
I mean, he's still averaging 5 yards a carry though.
Yeah. But that's only 10 fantasy points if he doesn't get the tutty. It just isn't bad if he gets
I would
5.
expect 17 carries, 87 yards, 3 catches, 25 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yeah. Jackson's working overtime here to get us a few more teams.
We just got a weird wave of 6 people DM me, so.
Let's see here. We got Lamar Jackson, Austin Eckler, Kenneth Walker, Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave, Darren Waller, Rashee Rice, Gus Edwards. And nothing really of substance on the bench outside of Tajay. I think this team's fine. There's not really much you can move on your bench. I always offer the idea of tearing out of Lamar Jackson. I don't really like doing that in an instance with him. But that's something you could do to build up your flexes a bit further. But that's really the only thing I would consider doing here, if anything. But yeah, that's really all I have to say on this particular team. Zaire Williams is not doing anything. That's awesome.
Do you expect otherwise?
Yeah, I was expecting him to do a little bit, but nah, he's not showing for the life of him. Unfortunate.
How's our boy Sengun doing?
Sengun going crazy. Magic's starting to blow him out now, though.
My fantasy team name is the Crab Senguns.
13, 6, and 8. I feel like he needs to be in a different
8
team.
what? Rebounds or assists?
Rebounds. So he's got 13 points, 6 assists,
Yeah, it's a good
8
game.
rebounds. So that's 22 plus 9 points. So that's 31.6 fantasy points on 27 minutes. So a little bit over 1. It's not bad. Let's see here. But yeah. Aside from our fantasy basketball talk, this team is just the bench you can't really use in your favor to upgrade this, and you're
You went all in on those younger receivers, and they just haven't really paid off yet. So, you just gotta hope, and both of them are set up to be good. It's just a matter of whether that expectation finally comes into fruition. So, just be patient, I guess. Both of them are in good situations. Waddle should have one of those big pop weeks soon, but who knows? It's tough to predict at this point, and you can't really move off them because you're selling both on a kind of a low point.
What are your thoughts on what's his name making it to brain farting on the exact person this is. McCole Hardman going back to the Chiefs.
I mean, he was irrelevant in the 6 years prior, and he's irrelevant now.
You're telling me he's not a god walking amongst men? How dare you?
He's a good football player that is helpful for their offense, but fantasy-wise, like there's no purpose.
He just walks out there and he just contributes nothing to me.
He's a yard per catch scam.
Fair enough. Moving forward, we've got Herbert, McCaffrey, Walker, DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle, Goddard, Amon St. Brown. Yeah, great team. Pittman's your kind of nice piece sitting on the bench here. If anything, I'd want like some more security in the flex department from a running back spot, but like this team's cracked. Anything you guys would say? This looks like it's in a 6-man league, if anything. Zaire Williams, defensive rebound, but misses the 16-foot jumper.
Damn. I mean, yeah, it's definitely not the deepest league.
Zion Williams.
I mean, it might be though.
Could just be a great team.
Yeah.
How does Zion Williamson only?
They might have just drafted really well and gotten the guys that have performed best at their slot.
Is Mans in the chat with us right now?
Does not
on TikTok.
look like it. I don't believe, at least.
Well.
Yeah, I mean, it all kind of depends on how the size of your league, because if it's deep, then nobody's really going to be chasing Pittman. But if it's wrong way. If it's like 12 teams, somebody's going to want Pittman. If this is like an 8-man league or something, then it's going to be tough to move him. But, I mean, I'd just be comfortable sticking with what you got. Goddard's tearing in the right direction, and everyone else's looks good. And you have McCaffrey, which is a free 20-piece every game, so I wouldn't stress out too much and try to make too many crazy moves. I would just kind of ride it out.
10-man.
It's a 10-man league for $500 is what he said.
Well, then you should be winning the 500 would be my guess.
I feel like you're in a good spot then. I mean, it probably depends on what other people's rosters look like, but if there's a dude whose flex is like Amari Cooper or something like that, you could potentially sell Pittman there, but I'm comfortable with everyone you have starting.
I'd be feeling like I was in a pretty good spot if I were this guy. That's just
for sure.
But yeah,
I added one last. There was one buzzer beater submission. That'll be the last one.
Damn it, Jet! No, I'm sorry.
I got NBA to watch.
I got NBA I'm trying to watch today.
Calm down.
Calm it down. We got Brock Purdy, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase. I mean, another God squad.
Oh, this is 8-man, by the way, so don't claim God squad too quick.
Okay.
Still, though, I guess.
It's still a very, very, very good team. Like, the bench technically needs some, like, I wouldn't say juicing, but technically needs some work. But overall, it's a fine team. Let's do this.
Yeah, I don't think I don't really know
like
what trades I would make here even.
Having both Justin Jefferson realistically and yeah, like you're in a pretty good spot, my friend. Like I don't know what else to tell you. The fact that you're able to get both those guys in your like I don't know, it's just cracked. I don't really have a lot of verbalization for this team. Like, you can't tear around or anything like that. Like, this is just having everything you can
Maybe,
want.
like, get out of Jettas for a tight end.
Yeah.
Or I guess they got Sam Laporta on the bench. Darn.
The way Jefferson has, the way the Vikings have played without him is a very good sign in terms of how likely it is that he'll come back. I think a couple weeks ago, people would have said it was like 50-50 on whether he plays again this year.
I'm now wanting to buy Jefferson.
Huh?
I'm with you and where I think you're going with this and that. Like, I want to be buying Justin Jefferson now.
Yeah, I think it's gone from like a 50% chance of him coming back to now like 85 or 90. Just the teams won a big game and they play some bad teams coming up. And if they win their next two, they'll be
They're in a
what,
good
500
spot.
or maybe one game above 500, and with him back, he's going to want to be part of that grind. And so I think you're in a good spot. I wouldn't sell too low. I think if you can get an offer that's like CD and someone or something like that, I would be willing to consider it. But I think your wide receivers now are unreal. So there's no reason to make a trade unless you're getting like crazy value.
Yeah.
Even this isn't. You said it was an 8-man league, or it's like 6.
Yeah, this is an 8-man.
For 8, this is I mean, I don't know how you did. He pick first and second, and like 6th, and
No, that's what I was saying. Like, I looked at him like,
yeah.
oh, God.
it's an incredible team. I wouldn't trade Jefferson. I would more trade like Devontae Adams or something. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm comfortable sitting on him.
Go get Mahomes or something, though.
Yeah.
Like, Purdy could be improved.
Yeah.
But yeah, this old man is now done with rating your guys' respective fantasy football teams and is going to go watch basketball. But I appreciate you guys coming in here and hanging out with us for a little while as we went through some of these teams. Appreciate all the likes, the gifts, and the follows here. Even though I don't think we got a single follow on this stream. Oh well, sad boy hours. But if you weren't able to get your team rated in this stream, then I encourage you to join the Discord. Link to that is in the bio. DM our guy Jackson here at Jamario Moon, and he'll tell you exactly how to get your team rated. This is now going to be quitting the recording, so subscribe if you're watching this as the playback on YouTube.